Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Good, good, good. Uh, the title of our lesson today is Pardon the Red Sea, November the 9th, 2025. Uh, that golden text is the Lord shall fight for you and you shall hold your peace. I think that is great. Knowing that God will fight your battle. Not you fighting your own, but God fighting for you. Getting excited about doing that thing, man. Uh, our scriptures are Exodus 14, 10 through 22. And I start at the 10th verse, and we'll go from there. Everybody got a book? Oh, you got that up there. Yeah, you got this up here. 10 and 11. I start reading here. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up his eyes, and behold, the Egyptian marched it after them, and they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. They lifted up their eyes, and they seen Pharaoh and all of his men coming after them. After Moses done really talked them into leaving, and they didn't even want to go. But look at what he said. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, has thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore has thou dealt with us to carry us forth to Egypt? In other words, what kind of deal did you make? Because there's no graves in Egypt, and now you made a deal for them to move us away from here. But look at how they done fix this thing where they really don't see that Moses is making a deal for them. It's not Pharaoh. They want to stay and work for Pharaoh. But it was God that was sending for them, and they have not seen this yet. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the desert? Wherefore hast thou dealt? What kind of deal did you make for us to carry us out, forth out of Egypt? What kind of deal did you? What did you do to stop us, to fix us, so that we can get out of here? We was all right in Egypt. Look at what the 12th verse say. After hear not these words. Hear not this word, the words that we did not, we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians. For it has been better for us to serve the Egyptians than for us to die in the wilderness, or for us to die in the desert. They think that it's better to stay with the Egyptians, because the Egyptian was coming to attack them and kill them, and they saw them coming in the groves. But it say it was better for them to stay in Egypt than to go and die in the desert. but they didn't see. Moses never could explain it to them that they who was sending for them. It was God that was sending for them. It was God that was going to make things happen for them. And they couldn't understand that. But they fought that thing, and they were trying to see what kind of deal did Moses make to keep them where they couldn't die in Egypt. And I was trying to figure that out myself, because if you knew that God was sending for you, you got a better deal. But they seen Pharaoh coming to kill them. But look at the 13th verse. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he has showed to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have sent today, ye shall see them again no more forever. In other words, God is coming to the rescue. And that's a great thing, because God fight our battles. They saying that Moses is trying to tell them. Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Watch God fight your battle. Watch God do this great thing for you. I mean, but don't you think it's good that sometimes even people be trying to come at you, do things against you, and then you find out that you are a child of God and God couldn't fight that battle? Because I remember a guy was hurting. We call him Walter. He was hurting my little brother, and my little brother had ran off with his package. And when my brother ran off with his package, I was sitting at the house, laying down on the bed, and God called my brother's name, and he say, pray. I said, God, what to say? He say, speak in tongues. And I started praying in tongues, and a few minutes later, my brother started walking in the house. And then when he started walking in the house, I said, man, what's going on? I said, God told me to pray because you was in trouble. What's happening? He said, man, Walter had that pistol, man. He was finna shoot me. I said, what? He said, Walter was finna shoot me. He had already hit me in the head with this pistol. He said, come on, man, let's go get him, man. And I was headed to go get my pistol, but God said, you tell him you done did all you can do. I said, huh? He said, tell your brother that you done did all you can do. You prayed for him. And you stood in the gap for him. And when you stood in the gap, that was over with, because your brother was wrong. You know, that was God would let me know that my little brother was out of line, taking that man dope and going off with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's amazing the way God stand up for us. It's amazing the way God showed us his strength. And it's a good thing for us to know that God would fight our battles and know that God would do things for us. And I was shocked, because my brother I'm used to going and fight for him. And God told me, he said, no, you're not going back up there, you know. And I told my brother that, and he was so shocked, he didn't know what to do. He was wondering, what are you talking about? But I said, man, what happened? And when I found out what was really going on, I said, man, you done ran out with the main dope, and then you think I'm going to go up there behind that? I said, you gotta be crazy. But it was God. God was showing us that he'll fight our battle. And Walter was lucky, because the law came looking for him to take him on to the jailhouse. But I stood up for him, and I told him it wasn't Walter's fault, because I was trying to keep him out of jail. You know what I'm saying? But we need to find out what's going on before we get off into this stuff. But God was moving. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. He said, God for to stand up in the gap. He said, God is going to destroy those people. And we would never see him again. That 14th verse say, and the Lord shall fight for you. And he shall hold your peace. And you shall hold your peace. Now, here it comes. Isn't it great to find out that you are God's child? Man, because when you look at it and when you stand up in the gap, you ever had somebody to look for you or to attack you? And these were some real cold people doing something for you, but God stand up in the gap. And God make a difference, a whole lot of difference for you in that with that person. That is great. That is good to know. See, people don't know who they're messing with when they're messing with children of God. We are the children of God. And people don't understand, and people do things to you just for the spell of it. A lot of times they'll bother you because they feel like you're a Christian and won't fight. Because they really do feel like you won't fight. But if you make them mad enough that you step into the side for a minute, you'll try. You understand? But God will fight that battle for you if we stand still and watch God. Watch him work. See, because people could do you wrong, man, and it just mistreat you. And it's hard for you to sit back and just hold your peace. Just take it. Sometimes you just got to wait on God. But now 9 times out of 10, the way I be thinking, and when I was out there, I think I would rather for me and you to fight than you to let God come over there to see me. Because when God gets through with you, he'll be done put something on you. You know what I'm saying? But so sometimes it's good to turn things over to the Lord and let things happen so God could fix it for you. And I promise you, you come out much, much better. You understand? Because God will fix that thing and make it right. And they was excited about the Lord fighting that battle. But look at how they went on with it. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Look at God asked Moses, now what are you crying out to me for? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. He said, just tell them to go on. Just tell them to go forward. He said, because once you speak to them, look at what he said, but lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry land through the midst of the sea. Now, he told Moses, he said, now you look, man. He said, you lift up your hand. And you coming up here crying to me, you need to be leading these people. Because God, you know what I like about God? And when we really look at it, God don't do nothing on his own. Notice when God get ready to make a move, he's making a move, but he got somebody he moving on. He's moving in that person. He's helping that person, just like right now, he's telling Moses to stand up. Go tell the people what I told you to tell them. And handle this business. He said, hold your hands up in the air. When Moses hold that hand up in the air, that water gonna pour out itself. God doing it. But who knows? Who see God? They see Moses. Think about it. And so he said, you go tell those people, I say that for them to go on. He said, but lift thou up the rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel will go on dry land through the midst of the sea. It don't matter. He said, these people finna go through this dry water, go through this water on dry land. Walk through this thing with no mud. Man, you know this ain't nobody but God. But he said, And behold, I will harden the heart of the Egyptians, and they will follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon his host, and and upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. He says, it's time for me to get my glory. Yeah, y'all hear what I say? Just think, man, Pharaoh was follow these people across the Red Sea. And when he followed these people across the Red Sea, these people always halfway across. And so when they come on across, Pharaoh on dry land too right now, when his men go through, but that river finna close in on him. And he said, God said, it's time for me to get my glory. And then he said, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord. He said, the people that's messing with his children will know that I am God. And there is no other. You understand? He said, and when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh and upon the chariots and upon his horsemen, he said, when I get my glory, I've even got my glory on the whole tribe of the people. The people, everyone that came up against you will be taken care of. Why? Because I'm going to get my glory. Think about it. People that's fighting you, doing harm to you, right now you want to cry about it. You want to holler about it. You're upset about it. But God said, you be still and you watch the salvation of the Lord. Watch me get my glory. Man, and it's exciting to find out that God will fight for you like that. I love to see God fight. Because a lot of times you ain't no match for the people that's coming up against you. You're out of line almost. You know what I'm saying? They already coming. And look at what I think I'm on the 19th verse. And the angels of God, which before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillars of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. The angels were walking before him at first, but now he had to go and get behind them because he knew God was fighting fight. God was fighting the war. And the angels put darkness upon them. This next verse, and it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud of darkness to them. But it gave light by night to God's peoples, so that the ones that came not near the other all the night. They didn't even come together because they was in darkness and God's people was in the light, but they couldn't even see each other in that darkness over there. They couldn't even comprehend. They didn't know who they were talking to. It was so dark. But the people that was in the light, the God's children that was in the light, Moses was parting the Red Sea. Look, that 4th verse, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the water were divided. The water was just stacked up on top of each other. Now just think, now, it looked like to me I just changed my mind by following them down that bridge. You know what I'm saying, down that Red Sea, that water parted that far up in the air, and now the old people halfway across that sea. I think I've changed my mind. I don't think I want to go. I don't think I want to go across that Red Sea and that water done parted. How did he part that anyway? How did Moses just hold his hand up in the air in the sea? I never thought about that thing. I think, yeah, his staff, but he just held it up over the water, huh? Yeah, and it's harder. But how? How did he do it? Other than God doing it himself. I would have thought about that thing myself. I would have told him, man, ain't gonna cross it. I'm not going up in there, man, because, huh? You'd have went. You'd have got what they got. Huh? That when Moses closed that sea up, every one of them died. Huh? Everybody with Moses went through. But I'm talking about the people that were following him in the Red Sea. Pharaoh people. Pharaoh people came on there. That's what I'm telling you. And Moses was coming to see up. He told Moses to put your hands back up, Moses. And the sea started closing up. And the Lord have mercy, they didn't see Pharaoh peoples no more. Until, wait a minute. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the water were a wall unto them on the right hand and on the left. Man, you got to be crazy. Something got to be wrong with you to go into all that water and see that water standing up like a dry wall. And them people that made it through there, and you finna go take his whole tribe come through. But Jesus told them he want that glory. He said he want the glory from Pharaoh. He said he wanted from Pharaoh chariots. He want his horses. He want the whole works. He got everything belonging to Pharaoh into the water. He hardened them people's heart so that they would follow him in the midst of the sea. Man, we got to be careful when we playing with God. We got to be playing because sometimes it's not fair. Because if God don't harden their heart, them people will stop and say, my God, I'm not going out there. It looks too bad. It looks real bad out there. But I thank my God that we are on God's side. And when we say we are on God's side, I mean we are on God's side. We got somebody that we can depend on. See, because people don't know who they playing with when they playing with us. You understand what I'm saying? When they playing with God's child. Sometimes you got to look at things and look at it pretty reasonable. A man with a child, you think about a man, he got a child, he got his son or he got his daughter walking down here, and then somebody down there playing with that child. Do you know that man is ready to go do something drastic, ready to hurt somebody about that baby? You understand? So how much stronger do you think God is when God can't want to do something and then somebody messing with his child and his child see, because what a person really got to look at is when the average person is on a mission. He on a mission for God. If he ain't here doing God work, he on a mission for God. He ain't on no mission of his own. But all you see is what God is doing. I mean, it's what that person is doing. But when God is backing it up, I think we ought to leave that alone. I think we ought to be strong enough to say, yeah, I better leave that alone. That ain't right. Something ain't coming out of that right. God is with that person now. You see, because God is setting these things up. God is putting his peoples out on a mission for him. And if you fighting the person that's on the mission, all you see is that person. But you don't see God until it's too late. And then God shows you that he's fighting that battle because God is not going to leave him out there alone. God's going to keep that person fighting keep that person out on his mission and doing things for him. It just makes us stronger, because the more we see God do things for us, the more we want to go out. The more we see and trust God when we go out. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. We're on a mission for the Lord, and people can't see it right now. But I thank my God for everything he's doing for us. I thank my God that God saved us. And right now, I'm excited about being saved. I'm excited about being his child because I know one thing. He's fighting the battle for us. You can come and get it, Pastor. And I know he got